Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the parade will now receive the host officer, Chief of Air Force, Air Marshal Mel Hupfeld.
Colour escorts will prepare to receive the Queen's Colour for the Royal Australian Air Force. Royal salute. Present. On.
Diversity and courage of the Australian people will be reflected by and through your Air Force. Not only is it right that our ranks are representative of our social diversity, but we are also stronger for it. Put simply, our Air Force will outthink, outcreate, and out.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated.
Historic warbirds starting the Flypast that we're now going to enjoy for the next 40 minutes. I'm joined by commentator for the first part of the Flypast, Peter Anderson, who is an expert on all the planes we're going to see. Good morning to you, Peter.
Lisa.
We just saw those warbirds overhead. Who was at the top of that? They were from 100 Squadron, weren't
100 Squadron, representative of the Temora Aviation Museum and the Point Cook RAAF Museum, and led by a Lockheed Hudson bomber, the only one in the world. Air Force's 100th anniversary. It is probably the most significant flypast that I will ever do, and I'm just so privileged to be here. First flew before the end of the Second World War. And this aircraft is representative of the two squadrons that operated them here, numbers 10 and 11 Squadron.
Peter, I've got the right person here with me today.
Thank you.
What can we see there now?
Okay, that is the Lockheed Orion aircraft, which took over the same role as the Neptune, but a much more capable aircraft. It was actually designed out of the Lockheed Electra airliner.
Have we ever seen such a collection of aircraft?
And also up on Mount Ainslie. Poseidon later on, and also our Wedgetail. So this provides a huge air battlefield combat capability.
And they're just going to do. You are an experienced fly-past commentator, so
it's a beautiful, beautiful sight there. Those aircraft. There we see the on screen we have the PC-21s there in the grey markings. You might be able to pick out the shark mouth on the nose where it's more aggressive than training roll.
And I guess those markings that we see on the various planes, they've changed over those historic warbirds. The paint job on them, that's all volunteers who are looking after those now, isn't it?
That's correct. That is with 100 Squadron, RAAF, formed specifically to commemorate this year.
You know what? The Hercules. I'm going to talk to someone who really knows something about the Hercules, and that is Squadron Leader Diane Bell. Diane, can you hear me? Because I think you're up there above me. How's it looking?
Hi Lisa, I can hear you. Not sure if I was a navigator on C-130H, so I've been in the community for quite a while. Such a variety of roles that we have, such an adventure every day, and there's just so much that we do within our community, within our region and all around the world.
A Mark 54 torpedo that can be modified and dropped from 30,000 feet for anti-submarine or anti-surface warfare.
So many of the aircraft today that we're seeing have been used as much in peace as in war, though, haven't they?
Most definitely. We saw the These aircraft are operated by Number 2 Squadron based up at Williamtown in New South Wales.
I mean, look, you know, you take off the bits of extra special added ons and you painted a...
Because it is designed into it. It can fly in the old money, the 3,600 foot runway. It has reverse thrust on those 4 engines, and each one of those engines develops about 40,000 pounds of thrust.
Where have they been used?
They have been used all over the world, not only for support of the Australian Defence Force, but also...
Who's actually a US pilot that's flying with us here in Australia.
Right, we've allowed the Americans in to enjoy our day.
Yeah.
Okay, good for the Allies. And that tanker has just really changed how we've been able to operate as an Air Force, hasn't it?
Yeah, so we refer to it as a force multiplier. It allows us to take our aircraft a lot further than we would usually be able to. So what you're seeing now is the formation coming in overhead, and they'll be pulling up into a loop very soon. And as they go over the top of the loop, you will see their formation change. So keep an eye out for that as they change formation. So there you go. You see them go from eagle to wedge formation over the top.
How long does it take you to train to feel confident about taking part in something like this?
So there's a lot of training that goes into a workup like this. Each of our
which makes me feel pretty lucky because we've got a great view of it all. But is that how long the displays normally go, or is this a special one for the 100th anniversary?
No, this is a normal display that we will do. They're usually around 14 minutes. And
to line at Lake Burley Griffin. What are you wearing when you're on board?
So we wear a flying suit, and over that we wear what's called a G suit. So what that is, it's like a second pair of pants that we wear, and it's full of bladders, and that plugs into the aircraft. And as we pull G over the top, like now, those pants are filling up with air, and what that does is it helps us be able to withstand a higher G. So during the manoeuvres today...
So your body's being squeezed, as it were, by the outfit.
Your body's being squeezed, and also you're squeezing your muscles against a lot. And usually it's just instantaneous type G.
Is it bad form to ask you if you've ever been sick?
No. I think every pilot in their career at some point has felt a little bit ill. And it's one of those things that we get conditioned for. We do it.
So you're telling me that they're not actually looking at their instruments, they are looking at the plane next to them?
They are actually turning their head as far as they can to see the person next to them to make sure they're in position and directly in line with one another as they go past.
How old were you, Dad?
Yes, he served in Number 3 wireless unit. So we actually were looking out at some pictures yesterday. Now, just looking at the roulettes, you're seeing them pull over to another loop. What will happen now is they come back down roulette 5 and 6, who are Flight Lieutenant Lockie Hazeldine and Flight Lieutenant Mark Kritz. They will break off the formation and they will get ready for their special manoeuvre. So we'll have to keep watching for that. Then once that happens, we'll have another manoeuvre that comes back along the crowd line, and then we'll see the formation rejoin. So we saw them move from 6-pack, and now they're in twin formation. You're up. So we're seeing the 4 aircraft now come round. They'll be coming round for the corkscrew very soon. But what we see in the mirror, here we go, is the aircraft are within 3 metres of one another. We have roulette 5, who's actually inverted on top of roulette 6. So this is the point where we really hope Lockie did his straps up tight, because otherwise he's hanging there upside down in his aircraft.
There are people out there shaking their heads at you right now, Amy, but I love your enthusiasm and passion for it.
So now we're seeing the corkscrew. So we've got roulette leader, squadron leader Jamie Braden, who is at the front. He's also inverted. And then we have roulette 4, Flight Lieutenant Ben.
With the rehearsals for these, the training, do you do a bit of the sequence and then sort of revise it? Or do you, when you do the training, you do the whole thing, the 12 minutes or 14 minutes?
No, we learn each manoeuvre. So that's
because this is the new aircraft, isn't it? That's only been with us for what, a couple of years?
Yeah, so 2019 we started doing that. So we were meant to do Skyfire last year here in Canberra. But unfortunately, due to COVID, we weren't able to. Roulette leader tells each member when to turn their smoke on and when to turn it off. So here you go with the barrel roll. So these aircraft can travel up to 685 kilometres an hour or 370 knots. During today's display, to have us come out to their big event, whatever that may be.
Right, okay, it's my sister's 50th birthday later this year. Can I request the rules?
Maybe not, Lisa, maybe not that type of event, but definitely community groups and local towns and things like that. If they're having some big festival or something, put your application in and it will be Air Forced. Here we go, to work out what we attend.